Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. People are starting to come in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have you. We will get started in just a second. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's like usually with Zoom webinars, it's like a little bit of a traffic jam at the beginning. Everyone's trying to get to the concert, but they just got to find the right parking place. So, thank you, Eugenia. Cool, cool, cool. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Our Queen Lashonda is here. Don't you worry. Wow, Lashonda, your fan club is already in taking over the front row. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just because we do have a van, how are you? A packed agenda, we're going to go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, hello and welcome. My name is Ryan and I run the community programs here at Canva, and I'm joined by two lovely co-hosts, Dawn and LaShonda, who are going to introduce themselves in just a second. But just first, a few reminders. Feel free to drop questions in the Q&A, and we'll answer as many as we can. We do have some moderators from both Canva and Flodesk to be able to help us. Please keep questions and comments relevant to what we're discussing. So that means if you have any sort of tech issues or things like that, we'll provide some resources so you could submit a ticket. But we love reactions. Use those emoji buttons to give us a high five, a heart, or a laughing emoji when something resonates. And just so you know that this session will be recorded and we're going to share it on the event page. That way it's just an easier way for you to be able to find it. We'll also send out a link right after the fact as well. And for some of you that are coming from Flodesk, we do have a special Canva offer where you can get 30 days of Canva Pro just by scanning that nifty little QR code right there. Or you can use the promo code Flodesk30. This expires on September 29th, 2025. But on the other side, Flodesk has a really great offer where you get 14 days free and 50% off the first year of Flodesk. Again, just go ahead and scan that QR code, and you have until September 29th to redeem. But before we get started, let's just go ahead and set the mood. Let's do an icebreaker. First one is really, really easy. Where are you joining us from? I am in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles area, Orange County specifically. Where are you dialing in from or tuning in from, LaShonda?
The beautiful bluish mountains of Virginia.
Wow. Wow. What about you, Don?
Wow.
I am in a small town called Bernie, Texas, in the Texas Hill Country, just outside of San Antonio.
Beautiful. And then Devin, where are you?
I am also in the Texas Hill Country in a different part of it because it actually is very big, just outside of Austin, Texas, close to Dripping Springs. But I did see someone say that they're dialing in from Italy, and I wish I was dialing in from there.
Yeah, I mean, just look at where everyone's coming from all over the world. We have people from Finland, we have Kansas City, Missouri, Mexico, India, Italy, Atlanta, Georgia, Arlington, yeah, Colorado, Barcelona, Austin, Vancouver. So there's really a wide range of folks from all over the world. I know that time zones are tricky, so if it's very, very late at night or very, very early in your morning, or maybe you're just having your first cup of coffee, we're so excited for you to be here. Thank you so, so much. This next question, very, very hard. What font best describes you? I had a hard time with this for a second and I had to go back and look at all my fonts, but I guess I'm a little safe, but I still like to get a little crazy. So I am really defaulting on Roboto. Yeah, I'm a big Roboto fan here. LaShonda, font, who are you?
Poppins.
In
Roger will love that, but I am a go-to for some Poppins.
Poppins, that is a good one. Dawn, what is your font?
Oh, this is hard. So Poppins is actually one of my brand fonts, so big fan of Poppins. But lately, I don't know, I've just kind of felt a little classic and just go for the classic Helvetica. It's just like the perfect font out there.
So classic.
Perfect corners. I don't know. But also I love some man rope also if I'm feeling a little fancy.
I love that. Devin.
I would also have to say Poppins, but I'm going to answer it like someone in the chat, which was Poppins like it's hot. So
Poppins like it's Poppins like it's hot. And it looks like our friend Ronnie from Spain is starting a Montserrat's fan club out there. So we got some there. Play fair, display italicized. Ooh, you're having adding it in. Then we have apricots. That sounds like a fun one. The tan family, Poppins is my go-to. So there is like a big, if we were in a stadium, there'd be a Poppins sections. Sedgwick Avenue at 100%. Gotham, Open Sands. Can't go wrong with Open Sands. That just works for everything. But thank you so much. We appreciate that. I'm going to start things off just from the Canva side. So if you are new to Canva and you're just joining us, welcome. We love that you're here. Just to help get you started on your journey, or maybe you are a longtime Canva user, we have an amazing thing called Canva Design School. This will really help you upskill how you utilize Canva. And there's a variety of courses that you can take, everything from Canva for Work, starting out with Canva. If you're a teacher, there's AI in the classroom. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can take and get a nifty little certification at the end. So highly encourage you to check out canva.com/design school. And if you are already on your designing journey and you're just looking for a way to level up those designs, if you did not know that we have a marketplace, if you go to canva.com/apps, we have over 500 apps that you can try out, ranging from a variety of different things, but it's really to help you make your designs come to life in a variety of different ways. I know for myself, I know for LaShonda, every time we pop up, there's like a pop in, there's like a new app there. So it's you just never know what's going to show up for you to check out. And for some of you that are looking for ways to like just start your brand, or you're just looking for a way just to kind of formalize like all of your different templates, we have Canva work kits. This includes templates, tips, and tools to support everyday tasks. So whether you're a marketer, you're on the sales team, you're in HR, creative, there's a whole slew of templates that are designed specifically for your work background. And then, of course, we have Canva events. This is a great place to stay on top of like the latest trends. We have industry experts, and then we also have like a lot of different Canva things. Some of our bigger ones that we have is every month or so, we have what's called a What's New webinar. So it actually goes through some of the latest and greatest features that had been released at Canva, led by our amazing Katie in our Austin office. And it wouldn't be a community party without mentioning our communities. So at Canva, we have so many different communities from nonprofits to teachers. We have an amazing design community. If you are in the chat, make sure you share what communities you're from. But we would love for you to get involved. You can see which ones we have available and are open for joining at canva.com/community. And then now for the main event, we're going to kick it over to my friend Dawn from Flodesk.
Hello, everybody. Okay, gonna make sure I got my fancy remote here all ready to go. All right, make sure my screen doesn't close here. Okay, hello and welcome. I am so excited to dive into this with you. I'm gonna start off with a quick question for you guys. Okay, what if you gave me $1 and I went into my wallet and I turned around and handed you $42? That would be pretty cool, right? So that's you'd probably be very likely to like give me more dollars, right? If every time you gave me $1, I turned around and gave you $42. Well, here's the thing, guys. This is the reality because email marketing can do that for you. Because of all of the marketing channels out there, email marketing still has the highest ROI of all the channels. It's not the channels that people are talking about all the time. It's not the TikTok trends. It's not the Instagram carousels. It's not all of these different things. Email marketing has the highest ROI. And today we're going to talk all about why email marketing should be on your radar, how you can use Flodesk to get started and to make beautiful emails, and how you can use your Canva designs super easily with our direct integration with Flodesk and Canva. If we haven't, hold on, guys, my phone locked here. There we go. If we haven't met before, my name is Dawn, and I'm the product education manager here at Flodesk. I have been part of the Flodesk team for about 1.5 years, and I'm having the time of my life on this team. But for me, email marketing and Flodesk is actually a bigger part of my story because I am a business owner. ×2. I have ran 2 successful businesses here in the Texas Hill Country, and these 2 businesses, one of them was a wedding photography business, and I was on the ground doing portraits, and the other one, Tech Savvy Creative, is still a business that's running. online resource for creatives, entrepreneurs to learn how to use tech in their business. But with the help of Flodesk and an email marketing strategy, I was able to pull in 6 figures for each of these businesses from email alone. Just email, guys. That wasn't like other marketing efforts. Just my emails brought me multi 6 figures into these businesses because when it comes to email marketing, it's all about getting the right message in front of the right person at the right time. And on all of these other marketing platforms, they're really important to be in your strategy. We're not saying like don't do social media. We're just saying it needs to be part of a bigger plan, a bigger strategy. But with email marketing, you can get those targeted messages into your members, subscribers' inboxes. And that is what makes email marketing so powerful. And that is why so many businesses and entrepreneurs and creatives out there are using email marketing to monetize their talents. So real quick, let's talk about why email, okay? Why is email so powerful? Why does this still work? It kind of feels like the boring thing, like TikTok is trendy, like there's so many different trendy things out there. Why is email still so successful? Well, email keeps you top of mind, and you can do that with little work from you, okay? Schedule those emails, put them in an automated workflow, forget about them, let them run. That allows you to show up where your subscribers are. It keeps you top of mind. And even if they're not in the market in this season for a photographer or a designer or holiday gifts or whatever it is that you offer, when they do need that thing, you will be first for them to think about because they are constantly seeing you, they're constantly seeing your name. But not only that, you can schedule these and get these going on autopilot. And it adds up really, really quickly, okay? Flodesk makes it so easy. And I'm actually going to show you a quick screenshot from a member that I was working with recently. We were talking about her email marketing strategy and we were in her analytics and I just took a screen grab of her analytics here. But let's talk about these numbers for a second, guys. So this member has landed in almost 3 million inboxes, over 3 million. That is insane. That is crazy number of emails. You guys can't send those emails like by yourself, right? Like you're not going to be in your Gmail sending those kind of emails. With the email marketing platform though, you can do this. And also I want to point out this number, a 65% open rate, like the said in the comments, is insane. Like that is a crazy number. And for some context, industry average is about 25%, but our members who are using email marketing best practices are seeing well over industry average. And like you can see here, 65% of 33 million emails are being opened, which is amazing. Email also diversifies your marketing channels. Okay. Now, this is important because we're in kind of a weird world right now where we're not really sure what's going to happen to some of these marketing platforms. TikTok might be here today, maybe not tomorrow. We don't know. Like there was a time where it like disappeared. Was anybody on TikTok when the notification came up and says you can't access this anymore? Like that is a crazy experience. Like that's something that so many people put so much effort into can be gone overnight. And with these platforms, you can't simply download your followers from TikTok and go upload them to Instagram. But with email marketing, you own your email list. That CSV is yours to keep. So you can download it. You can move it to another platform. You can put it on hold for a little while. And if there's anybody here who has not yet started your email list, this is your time. Okay, this is the time. There's no more excuses because Flodesk actually offers free forms. We have high converting forms that you can put on your website, start collecting your subscribers, and that is totally free. So even if you're not in a place where you're ready to actually start emailing people and launch your newsletter or whatever that is, you can start building your email list for free using our high converting forms. So everybody here, even if you don't have an email newsletter or if this is not part of your strategy yet, start building your list so it's there and it's ready to go when you are ready to dive in. Another piece of this is that email helps you connect at a deeper level. And this is my favorite part about email marketing and why my email marketing was so successful for my businesses. And here at Flodesk, we like to say that social media is the handshake. It's the hi, it's the nice to meet you. But email marketing is how those relationships turn into revenue, but they build, okay? They turn into the deeper relationships. They're the insider scoop. They get the BFF treatment, right? This is key for these businesses. And everybody who is using email marketing to their advantage here, this is what is making them so successful. Because here's the thing, my email subscribers are my VIPs. They get exclusive access to things that social media and other parts of my marketing plan don't have access to. So there's a scarcity mindset. You have to be on my list to get access to these things. I use segments and automations. And when somebody clicks on a link, I store information about my subscribers. So I have learned what they're interested in, what they've purchased in the past, what they do. And I use that information to send them information that is relevant to them. Okay. When you can show up in the inbox and they feel seen and heard, they are so much more likely to convert because you are connecting with them, because you're getting to know them. You can't do that on social media. I can't like post an Instagram post and be like, only show this to moms or only show this to photographers. But with email marketing, you can. You can build that relationship, make them feel seen, and this translates to incredible relationships and customers that keep coming back. And for me and my business, this whole strategy was possible thanks to Flodesk. So for me, very transparently, guys, I've been in business longer than Flodesk has been around. So I have used multiple email marketing platforms. Some of them were fine, but I will tell you firsthand, when Flodesk launched in 2019, it was the first time that email was actually exciting for me. It was always one of those things that I did because I just had to do it. It was like what we had to do as business owners. But for the first time with Flodesk, I was able to create something I was truly proud of. I was excited to use it. And I was able to create an experience for my audience. So these are actual screen grabs from my photography business. And I'm so proud of these. That business is no longer in progress. I closed the doors to my photography business to focus on other things. But I was so proud of this. I had high converting forms for my wait list. I had stunning emails. And not only was I showing up in a way that I was proud of, but I noticed that there was a shift in my business when I was able to show up in the inbox this way. People were putting eyes on my content just because it was beautiful, because it was enjoyable. It was giving me this professionalism that I didn't have before. And that was all because of Flodesk. Our co-founder, Rebecca, said this, and I could not agree more. Email marketing is not really about email. It's about relationships. But here's the key part here, guys. And good design helps cultivate these relationships. Does anybody here in the chat actually have like a brand that they open every email from just because you know it's going to be a good email? Like, I might not need something from Anthropologie, and I really don't need Starbucks to tell me that I need more coffee. But every time they send me an email, I open it because they're always beautiful and I want to see what they did. So you can be one of those brands. Branding, like you said, yes, branding gets me every time. That is a great part of the experience. And as business owners or something that you're offering, this can be a huge part of your strategy. But this has always been easy with Flodesk. Flodesk has always been a design forward company, but now the bar has been raised because we have launched our direct integration with our friends at Canva. And we all love Canva. We're all a good sucker for a good design, just like you're saying here in the chat, LaShonda. But now you can do this without ever leaving your Flodesk builder. And I say builder, right now we're talking about emails, but this is coming to all parts of the Flodesk builder here soon. So our direct integration with Canva is fast. So when you're building an email or whatever it is that you might be building later on down the line, anything that has an image, you can click on it and then you can select Canva from the dropdown. If you haven't connected your Canva account yet, you can do that really quickly. Once you're connected, you will be able to select any of your images from Canva or GIFs from there and then add it to your email, all without leaving the Flodesk builder. It is so easy. It is so fun. And you can up level your emails even more with unlimited designs thanks to Canva. So like I mentioned, you can do this all without leaving the Flodesk builder. If you need to make a change, you can jump from Canva you can jump back over to Canva, make the change, and then there's a return to Flodesk button at the top of the Canva builder, brings you back into the email builder with those changes already automatically updated. And this works for both images and GIFs, which is super fun. My emails are a lot of fun. You'll see one here in the next slide. But for anybody here that is maybe new to email marketing, or if you're getting started, or maybe you've been doing it for a while and you want some fresh ideas, get ready to screenshot your screen. I have some ideas for you. But if you need some inspiration, here's a list of emails that we're seeing our members use. And you can see here on the right, that's actually my welcome email over at Tech Savvy Creative. That whole top section is a Canva graphic. So I use the Canva integration to bring in that GIF, and it adds a little bit of flair and a little personality to my emails, and it allows me to connect with my audience in ways that I've never been able to before. So if you need some ideas, newsletter, industry updates, education, personal stories, my friend Natalie is here somewhere. One of her top performing emails ever was a story about her running through an airport, and she had a fiasco. And I think that's the funniest story. But this is how we connect with our audience. There's so many different ways that we can connect with our audience. And again, if you need some ideas, some inspiration, go ahead and screenshot this slide and go ahead and get started. Okay, now for the fun part. I have the honor of introducing my dear friend, LaShonda Brown, who's going to go ahead and walk you through firsthand this connection, our direct integration with Flodesk and Canva. And she's going to show you how to make magic with these two tools.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited for two of my favorite tools to be combined in this product demo. Y'all, I do the most, you've been warned. So we're going to think in terms of a campaign. It may or may not be an actual campaign that I'm working on, but we're going to go on a journey. I'm going to take you on a very beautiful, peaceful journey. So I am actually going to share my screen and all my tabs, no judgment. It's going to be a phenomenal time. So here we go. We want to make sure everybody can see everything. And we are going to start our fabulous journey with a Canva whiteboard. Now, if you had a room of people willing to listen to what you had to say, what would you actually say? Well, my friends, if I could only tell you one thing about me, I would say that it is my desire to be the mentor that I always wanted, leading with reckless generosity, some laughter, and a whole lot of love. Okay, that's just how I roll. That's just how I am. If that is not for you, you are in the wrong place. However, I also should warn you that this presentation might be fun, interactive, and may cause you to take screenshots and share on social later. Be warned, and don't forget to tag me at LaShonda M. Brown. M as in money. Okay, awesome. Glad we did that. So, my friends, I know you're on the gram. I know you're doing it. We're all doing it. But we have to start thinking about using social media as bait. Social media is like using a megaphone. You are putting the message out there. But email is where you can have a telephone interaction. You can be close, you can be private, and it converts higher. So, really, the new goal of you creating your gorgeous graphics in Canva is to go from the social media platform of your choice to your email list. Okay, this is where a lead magnet or freebie would come into play. Magnet because you're trying to attract them to your house. Leave Meta, come to me. Okay, that's the goal. However you get them there, that's your prerogative. But I'm a sucker for a good carousel post. Now, speaking of carousel posts, y'all don't need to be making separate projects for these carousel posts. They can live in the same place, and you can just decide to export the pages that you need. So I love doing this because I can easily repurpose layouts. So you can see I'm currently obsessed with LinkedIn. So everything has the same CTA, but I changed the photos and the tippy tips up. Okay. So this is how I create my carousel posts. They live in one place. But again, the goal is to take people from social media and stick them into my email list, which is housed in Flodesk. Now, one of the reasons why I switched to Flodesk were these templates. Okay, we're getting beautiful. We're getting minimalistic. We're getting vibrant. Okay, right in line with Canva. However, you can start from scratch. Now, if you start from scratch, it's going to look a little something like this. Okay. And so you can bring in your branding just like you would in your brand kit in Canva. You can see here my color palette is loaded in. So no matter what template I bring into Flodesk, I can make it fit my branding, which is fabulous. However, I've already warned you, I'm extra. So this little stagnant logo, that doesn't embody what I'm after. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to head on over. This is one of my favorite templates to start with, a blank SoundCloud banner. Y'all remember SoundCloud? SoundCloud, bless his heart. That is where all the independent artists would make their music and share it with their friends. However, a banner image is super thin, perfect for the top of an email. So I'm going to go in here and I've got my brand kit loaded in. So I've got my colors and I've got my logos. I got logo variations for days. I got just as many logos as I have domains. So I'm going to click on see all and I'm going to pull in the branding for an upcoming offer. But again, I'm not basic. So this is not going to be basic. I'm going to animate this. So I'm going to click on the logo and then I'm going to click on animate. And when I do that, if I save this as a GIF, the animation that Canva creates in this design will translate over to Flodesk because Flodesk can handle GIFs. All right. So we're going to animate that. We're going to cook it up in Canva and we're going to bring it over to the top of our email. So no longer do we have this basic tiny logo. We're animated and we love that for ourselves. Okay, great. So I'm walking outside. I'm like, okay, I got a logo. I got a name. What on earth is the actual offer? That's when I'm going to open up Canva on my phone as I do my morning walk on my walking pad with my weighted vest because that's the season I'm in. And I'm starting to brainstorm. I'm going through and I'm like, okay, it's going to be 3 days. We're going to keep it mindful. We're going to have some pre-recorded, some live, some chat. And so I start to brainstorm in that Canva doc. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to say, okay, now that I've actually brainstormed the offer, I'm going to ask Magic Write inside of Canva. You don't need to leave to go talk to Mr. Chat. You can actually do a prompt inside of a Canva doc to write the subject of your email. But then you're like, man, dead giveaway. I didn't actually write this email. And I also don't need them to actually know the setup. That was just for me. That wasn't for them. So I am going to say, yeah, this is great. But let's make some changes. Let's change the subject. Let's take the setup section out because they all need to know all my business. And then we get this version. So once we've got our copy for our email, we're going to copy that sucker to our clipboard and we're going to hop over to our email. Okay. So we have cooked up our GIF. All right. We have pulled in our copy thanks to Canva Doc and Magic Write. And we formatted it. Okay. We've got some things we need to replace. Maybe the regards aren't warm. So we may want to remove that. And so we go up to the top and we're going to personalize it because this email is actually going to go to our affiliates. I love affiliate marketing for my business because I want to give my money to my friends and not to Mr. Meta. So let's personalize this email. We know these people, okay? And let's put a friendly graphic at the top. But then I realized, man, I got a lot going on in September. I actually need to change the date of this graphic. Well, I pulled it in with Canva. So what am I going to do? I'm going to hit edit in Canva. And that is going to send me over to Canva where I can say, you know what, girl, you got too much going on in September. Change that up to October 21st through the 23rd. We love a good Tuesday through Thursday. And then send me back to Flodesk. And it's going to pop me back over to that same email. It's going to prepare that design, and then I'm going to have the graphic that I need. Now, what's awesome about doing that is I can also, my friends, in the same graphic, create multiple variations for my affiliates because maybe I don't want them to just have this. I want them to also have a carousel post. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate that design. Then I'm going to head over to Magic Resize and I'm going to say, turn that sucker into an Instagram post. But girl, don't do both of them. Don't do too much. We just want page 2. And I'm going to do page 2. I'm going to say resize this design. Canva's going to cook. We love that. And then we're going to bring that out and drag things where we need it to be. I can have an email header. I can have a carousel post. I can make a presentation walking through the campaign to my affiliates in the same project because of Visual Suite 2.0 released at Canva Create. Love that. Okay. So that is something that you can do. You can also use Canva Sheets to actually track your affiliates, their codes, the number of referrals, how much money you owe them. And so at the end of the day, if we go back to the journey, here is that email, here is that gift, here is that copy that Canva helped us write. Now the date has changed because we're being reasonable. We need more time. There's the rest of the copy. When everything is said and done, what do you need to do? You need to market this event. Well, that's where your inline form comes into play because Canva can create a transparent form, stick that on top of the header of your website. Then you make yourself a full page form in Flodesk, and then you can change your Instagram bio. And we're back to where we started. So at the end of the day, Canva, Flodesk equals grow, nurture, and monetize your list. You're welcome.
I wish we had a mic drop. Like if we could definitely do it. That is amazing. Go ahead and drop questions that you might have in here. I have a couple for you. This will be for the Flowdesk team. If people are starting off, does Flowdesk offer a free model or is it only paid?
So we do have free forms. So even if you're not ready to email, you can start building your email list, and forms are always free. And with our forms, we do have multiple form types out there. You can have more than one, but we have everything from full page forms that can get you started without having a website. Like we'll give you the URL, so no websites required. We also offer pop-up forms, inline forms, the fun spin to win forms, and my personal favorite countdown timer forms. So if you have an offer coming up that's limited time or you're like leading up to a date, you can use those again, all for free.
Cool. If somebody is brand new to Flowdesk, where would you recommend them to go to get started?
Ooh, good question. So, as the product education manager, I am actually working on rebuilding our Flodesk University. So, that is currently in progress. But we do have quite a few tutorials on our YouTube channel. So, check those out. We also have a really great Flodesk Insiders Facebook group that connects you with other Flodesk users. And we would recommend joining that as well. Also, every month, if you are a new member, I do a monthly webinar for our new members called Flowdesk First Steps, and we walk through the whole platform and everything from getting your account set up to launching your first email, your first form, and your first automation as well.
Amazing. This might be a technical question, but if I'm using an existing email platform provider, is there an easy way to migrate over to Flowdesk?
Yes. So, a couple of things here, and we can go way down the rabbit hole. So, I'm going to try to keep this super simple. When you're moving from one platform to the other, it's pretty simple and straightforward. You're going to export your CSV of your subscribers from one platform. You're going to move it over to Flowdesk and upload them there. If you have multiple segments, you'll do that in batches to make sure your segments come over as well. But when you move your email domain over to a new platform, you can do that as well. You'll just have to update your records, and you'll also want to make sure you warm your domain on the new platform. So Google and Yahoo aren't startled by all of a sudden somebody emailing from a domain that they see as new on their backend. So make sure wherever you're moving, whether that's to Flowdesk or between platforms, that you're doing that to ensure your deliverability is not affected.
Amazing. And this question goes for LaShonda and the Flowdesk team. I know we talked about Natalie's amazing subject line about falling in an airport. What are some other tips that you might be able to provide for creating successful and or engaging subject lines? And I guess LaShonda and Don, like what has maybe been your most highest performing subject line that you've done?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you write your subject lines like they're normal emails and not like you're trying to be salesy, like literally, even like the first word, don't uppercase it and be like, girl, are you coming? Just, simple, like a text. It's like, what, girl, what do you mean? Where are we going? What's happening? So that's helpful. I also love writing an email, sending a test email to myself and seeing how it shows up on my cell phone. And like, does it make me want to open it, even knowing what it's going to be? And so I'll change my subject line all the time after I send that test email because I'm like, oh, it's so long that you can't quite see the hook. So I would definitely say test it with yourself to make sure. Emoji first is always fun just to pop out in the inbox. So feel free to dazzle it up with that. And then, yeah, I mean, you don't need to talk to Mr. Chat, but you could talk to Mr. Chat and you could say, here are my last top 10 performing subject lines. And you could find that with your Flodesk analytics. Can you write me for a campaign about LinkedIn? You know what I mean? So if you give it a good enough prompt, then it can spit out some valuable stuff. So those are my tippy tip tips.
So my number one performing subject line ever was no pants required. And
Oh,
sometimes I was actually I was offering Voxer coaching. If anybody's familiar with Voxer, it's like a walkie-talkie app, but there's like no screen,
yes.
no photos. So it was no pants required. That was my highest performing subject line ever. But also wanted to share that Flodesk recently launched AI subject lines. It's going to analyze the email that you've created and it's going to give you a suggestion to get started. And we use a lot of best practices to train that model into giving you email subject lines that are going to perform well. So that's just a good place to get started. It's already built in, nothing you have to do. Just when you get to that point where they ask for the subject line, you'll have a suggestion there as well. So if you're somebody that gets a little caught up and isn't quite sure, we'll help you get started.
Love that. And all my confirmation emails and reminders, it's going to be, girl, are you coming? No pants required. Pretty gold.
Your emails will get opened.
So excited. LaShonda, this one's for you. We know that you're an
Okay.
email pro with Flodesk, but what are some of your other go-to features in Flodesk that you currently utilize?
Who asked that? I really wanted to screen share again. Oh man. Okay.
Want me to
We're
start
going back
sharing?
in. We're going back in. Can I get the controls? Y'all, you aren't even ready for this.
If you have
Okay.
never
I'm
been
sorry.
here, this is the LaShonda show. You do not know the twists and turns that are coming.
We're going on another journey, friends. Buckle up. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. So here's the deal. So obviously, Flowdesk has, your layouts, your image, logo, all of that stuff. That's been there since really the beginning. But as they add new features, start looking at the bottom of the list because they start filling in here. So now you have countdown clocks built in to the freaking email. No more third party. You don't have to leave here. Make your countdown clock, create your urgency. And they're beautiful. Okay. So we love a good countdown. We love a good e commerce block because we're trying to make shmoney. So if you need a layout to sell your products, again, you can directly link the product link to this section. And so the whole section doesn't have to be linked to the same thing. The individual items can be linked. That's fantastic. I also love the poll as a way to segment people. So you could say, oh, what's your top priority? And so if someone selects grow followers, you can add them to a segment to say, this person wants to learn how to grow followers or launch new products, boost revenue. This could be a fun way for you to survey your email list without them knowing that you're actually being surveyed. And my favorite is the favorites. Y'all, I will favorite pretty much anything I customize. And what happens is it will, well, look at that. That was the most recent. Wow, I love that. My most recent tech tool of the week, Flowdesk. So now it's branded and I can just drop that in. I can drop in the link to download the Bootstrap app in the App Store. I can do this cute little layout here. So if you find a layout that you love, even if it's like you styled a poll to fit your branding, favorite it so you can just go back in later and just tweak it versus starting from scratch every time. So there you go. Thank you for whoever asked that question.
Amazing. Okay, Helen has a question. To design for Flowdesk, what size do you recommend that we start with in Canva? LaShonda,
What size graphic?
size graphic. Yeah.
So it depends on where you want to put it. So let me, sorry, I'm going to keep taking over your beautiful questions graphic, Ryan.
I know that one's a
This is
1950.
like me when I live stream. I'm just like, Okay, okay. Another tab. We need another tab. Okay, so if we're trying to manage our time well, which we love, okay, we're gonna go back to favorites. So this is a great example. So on Fridays, I literally go live for 2 hours to increase the watch time on my channel, and I just co-work with people, Pomodoro style. Well, I can make a YouTube thumbnail that will be, the design on YouTube, but that same size is the same width of my email. So now that's going to take up this container space for me and be super vibrant, and I don't have to make another design. Now, sometimes I've got members who want to, promote offers. And so I'll say, okay, Alan, what do you have going on? So he'll send me, a graphic that I can include. And this layout has multiple shapes. So for this graphic, it made sense to do a horizontal shape. But if someone sent me a couple verticals, I could change it there, a circle, or a square. So what's nice about Flodesk is even if you pull in a layout style that looks a certain way from the beginning, a lot of times you can further customize it with your padding, with shapes, with colors. And so it's not as imperative that what you create in Canva is the correct size when you bring it in. Because even if we go back to that Pomodoro thumbnail, if we go back down here and I say, girl, you're doing a lot, that's really big, I can literally just change the width on the side. So I'm not resizing in Canva, I'm resizing this in Flowdesk just with the slider. So the integration with Canva is great if once you bring it in the email, you're like, that's not very legible, or oh, there's a typo. And so that way you can easily pop back and forth to make those changes. Or if you want to click on that plus sign and go bring in an image, once you select it and you go choose from Canva, it's going to pull in your designs. And so you can actually search in here. So you really don't have to leave Flowdesk for a lot of what you need when it comes to images, and that's what's going to save time. Because if you save the time, then you're going to do it more often, you email more often, you're going to make more money. And we all lines go back to girl, get your coins. So I hope that's helpful.
The M stands for money in her name.
M stands for money.
Hmm. This is a question inspired by Gasia, who is in the chat. How do you keep your emails creative, and what do you do if you're in a creative rut? And this could be for any of you that send.
Oh, I've been in many a rut. Oh, I know the feeling. I think what helps me when I'm just like, how many different ways can I say the same thing? Is to really start thinking about themes for your content and connect that to your emails. So, like right now, we're doing an AI theme on my channel. And so it's like, okay, I don't need to buy another domain and make another logo for a series on AI, but maybe the 4 emails that I send in July can all have their own special theme. And maybe I really double down on a certain color in my color palette, or I switch the fonts up, or I bring in some new images, or get a friend to do a photo shoot just for those emails. I mean, you do what you need to do to make you love your job again because you make the rules. But I would just say when you have the theme, that gives you enough of a parameter that you don't have analysis paralysis and you actually take action and just say, okay, given these rules, I've got 4 emails. The goal is to drive traffic to my freebie or drive traffic to my low ticket offer. What can I creatively do for that theme that doesn't make me feel like I'm locked in and committed to making every email look like this? I think the problem with people who are in newsletter mindset is that, oh, I'm just doing a plug and play model and every email has to look the same. And there's a place for that. But also, there's something beautiful about just exploring your creativity through email because Flowdesk doesn't have as many constraints as some of the other email marketing softwares out there. So, like, you have permission to just pick a different template, use some different imagery, add some memes that are just resonating with you in that moment and then make it relate to what you're selling. But I think giving yourself permission to be disruptive is the best thing you can do if you're in a rut.
Oh, so good, Lashonda. So good. I
Oh,
want to
thank you,
add,
friend.
I want to add one thing that works really well for me. I actually stood up a separate email address where I can subscribe to other people's email newsletters and other brands and things like that. So it's like subscribe at is like the email that I use. And I subscribe to brands that I'm inspired by and big brands, small businesses. And that puts them all into one place so I can go there, but I just go through them every day and like what inspires me? What am I excited to read? What is catching my eye? And I use that as inspiration to try on my own audience because one thing that's true for everybody here is that everybody's audience is different and we all have different things that are going to resonate with our audience. So it's going to be a little bit of trial and error to see what really works for your audience. And only you are going to be able to do that because you know your audience best. So go out there, see what other people are doing, and see what's inspiring you and see if you can, share the love there.
Amazing. Plus one to that one, Don. I actually have a separate email inbox where I just subscribe to a variety just because it's really good to kind of get a pulse on like what's going on there. But also from a creativity standpoint as well, which is like a great follow-up question. I think some of us, like I know I have so much that I want to say every single week, but sometimes I don't have things that I need to say other weeks. Is there any times where you just send out an email just to say hi versus having a very specific CTA?
Ooh, yeah. So I've done this before where I literally was just like, I have nothing to sell you, but I need to process these thoughts. Because again, you and I really do warn people. Like, I'm just like, I know I'm a lot, but I told you. And so I will say this too, how you onboard people on your list is super important. Um, Ryan, may I share again? I know we've we've been here, we've done this.
Like
Okay,
on this world.
this might be the last time. Might we don't know. But so say for instance, the inline form that I have on my website. So if you click on join the club, start here, or you type in the inline form on my homepage, it says burnout is real, but it doesn't have to be your reality. If you leverage tech, you can do less manually and live a more fulfilling life. Join 3800 inside the Bootstrap Club absolutely free to receive mindful marketing and tech tips delivered straight to your inbox. So that's like the super professional, okay, girl, I know you're tired. I can help, right? But then I further qualify this. I even like give them a little natural hair sweatshirt kind of vibe. And I'm like, look, some things never make it to Instagram. And for that realness, join the club. Okay. So I tell them from the beginning, sometimes I just need to process some thoughts and I don't need to be posting this publicly, but I really need somebody to listen to me. So you opted in, here it comes. And so I think sometimes too, like just have a conversation. You don't have to sell every email. And if you do break that up, where you're not constantly pushing, asking for people to do stuff and you're just giving or you're just nurturing, then you actually build a relationship where people want to open your emails versus saying, oh, here come LaShonda, what's she selling this time? You know what I mean? So you create the environment that you want to exist in. So from the beginning, you say, look, yes, I'm going to help you. This will be valuable, but there will be times where I'm just going to show pictures of my family vacation because I don't want to post their pictures publicly, but girl, we look cute. So you need to know. Someone needs to know, right? So just set the stage from the beginning, and then people won't be shocked and appalled when you're not in business mode in their inbox. And you'll be surprised. Most people want you to lighten up and just be real. So every now and again, if you see something on the news and you're like, wow, I have thoughts, sleep on it after you write the email. Because once you wake up, you'll be like, ooh, that's a little too much. Edit, then send it. That's my advice for that.
Very sage advice. What about you, Don?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like people, it's all about the relationship building, right? And having that personal connection is a great way to do that. If I'm looking through my emails, especially for the studio, some of my best performing emails were like life updates, like And like when I had my girls, like I would always send an email out to my clients letting them know like she's here. Like I actually told my email list before I posted her on social media just because I wanted them to feel like they had insider information. Because they're special to me. Like they're people I've connected with and I, have that like intimate relationship with in my inbox. So those always perform well. Another one that performed really well for me is when I announced that I was joining the Flodesk team. Like people just love those personal updates. That's why social media is such an interesting place, although it's a lot more curated. And definitely, again, test it out. Everybody's audience is different. If you're running a brand that's a little bit more professional and like focused on just business and not any personal things, that might not work well for you. But a lot of us who are running like solopreneur type businesses, people are there for your business, but they're also there for you. And they love to hear about you and what's going on in your world and try it out. See if it performs well. And I know for me, it's always done really well.
Amazing. A question, Canva related question that I'll jump into real quick is, can you recommend any resources for someone brand new to learning Canva? Yes. Highly recommend you check out our Canva design school, which is just canva.com/design school. I'll drop it into the chat in just a few. But basically, we have everything from like the first time using Canva, so like our essentials courses, to diving into deeper into some of the bigger projects you have. So highly recommend you starting there. And just a nice little plug to our amazing Canva verified experts that are on this call right now. There's a slew of people that you can find on YouTube, including Miss Lashonda herself. But I know we have Ronnie, Roger, Natalia, Melissa. There's just so many great people in the chat right now. If you just search for Canva tutorials, you're most likely going to find it. If you want amazing ones, do Canva tutorial, Canva verified expert, and there will be a whole bunch of things that you'll be able to do. But if you're just looking for a one-stop shop of where you can start, highly recommend checking out canva.com/design school. And if you're a teacher and you like this thing, you get a nifty little certificate at the end too. So it's a win-win. A couple more questions. For our business, I've always used Instagram as a more relational side and emails more professional. Do you think it needs to be a slow switch if emails turn much more personable? I don't want to give them whiplash. Anyone want to?
Ooh, they said whiplash, so I love a good adjective. It's very provocative. Okay, so here's the thing. Your email isn't just an email. You can have sections to your email, just like you would have sections in a newspaper, if you can remember newspapers. And so I just feel like for me, I try to stick with like 3 thoughts per email. And so I tend to start my emails to my list with something way more personal, stream of consciousness, heard this podcast made me think of dot, dot, dot. But then I've got 2 other sections. Usually, the other 2 sections is driving traffic to my YouTube channel for whatever is new that week, because YouTube for me is one of my products. And then I include a tech tool of the week because I want to make sure my affiliates get some love. So it's like, yes, I am going to give you something educational you can learn in this moment. I'm going to refer you to a tool, but I'm also going to share my thoughts because I'm not just a resource tool. I'm not just a bot. I'm a real person. And so I balance that through the sections, and I even almost create like a little table of contents vibe. Because I call it the Bootstrap Club, and it says club notes, and it tells them what to expect in the email. And so if they want to just be business minded, then they can go straight to the bottom. But if they want to hear what I think, they can read earlier. So I would say you don't have to just do 1 thought per email. You can have multiple thoughts. And so you can still drive traffic to something that's going to generate passive income for you, along with sharing more of your personality in the text or your imagery.
And to add on to that, you can utilize like what we call form preferences. So when somebody signs up for your newsletter, you can say like, what are you interested in hearing about? And you can say like personal life updates. And then you can say like business tips. Like you can choose those things. And based off of what they select, you can segment them into those different audiences. So when you have that information, you can send the targeted information to that audience. So maybe you do have an audience that is interested in the personal updates. That's who you're going to send your personal updates to. Or if you have the audience that's only interested in those business tips, That's who you're sending that information to. It's all about getting the right message to the right person at the right time. I serve a lot of different creatives at Tech Savvy Creative, but I'm also involved in a lot of photography things because I was a photographer. But I'm very intentional about making sure that I don't send photography related workshops and content to those who are not photographers because it's not what is resonating with them. And that's what's made my email so successful is by sending them that targeted content. So I don't know if like just completely turning your strategy is the right move, but maybe segmenting your audience a little bit and focusing on getting the right message to the right audience. And you might see that everybody is interested in that personal piece. So maybe that is the right content and the way that you want to go. Or you keep it split and go ahead and get that right message to the audience that has signed up for it.
Very cool. A couple more questions. I know we're hitting time. This has been super amazing. If you have any further questions, you could go ahead and reply to the email that got sent out, and we'll try to get these questions answered because I'm sure some of the stuff might be resonating with you, or you might just be sitting here thinking about how to articulate that question. We're here from you. It's not just this webinar. We will go ahead and support any questions and help get you to the right information. But one question in terms of email. Is there a key to consistency when sending out like dates and times, or do you keep things more ad hoc to when you have information to share?
So I want to jump on this from a deliverability standpoint real quick, and then I'll let LaShonda go because I know she has a routine and cadence that she uses. From a deliverability standpoint, these inbox providers, Google, Yahoo, iCloud, actually significantly value consistency. They want to know what to expect from you. So having a consistent cadence is actually a really important part to ensuring that your emails are landing in the inbox and not the spam folder. So for anybody out there, if you are somebody that has not emailed your list in like a year, please do not blast them on Black Friday. You will end up straight in the spam folder because it's a surprise to these inbox providers, okay? They value consistency. Pick bi-weekly, monthly. I would not do less than monthly. After about 6 weeks, domains start to cool off. So I would try to be monthly at the bare minimum. But lean into that consistency and get that content out there. LaShonda, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I'm just not a person that, has the same energy day after day. And so when I'm feeling the inspiration, I'm going to write those emails and I'm going to schedule them. I think one of the best things that you can do with content, no matter where you are, is to schedule when you're feeling passionate. So on those days when you're sick or you don't want to put makeup on or you just don't feel like it, you have content to pull from and you can be consistent. But I'm also a data girly. And so I'm going to look at those analytics and say, oh, wow, I thought my audience was opening my emails on Mondays, but really they're opening them on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. And so often I will give myself a 90-day window to do something and then go back and read the data. What is the data telling me people want? If I'm sending 3 emails a week, do I start seeing a drop off? Is two the most that I could send? Is it better to do weekly? So data-driven decisions for me, although I'm fun and cute, I love me some numbers because the numbers, they don't lie. And so at the end of the day, I would just say you're always going to want to look at your analytics just to help direct your strategy. And then once you know what the people want, then you can deliver on that. So that's how I do it. And I send out my emails on Monday at 6:30 before I go live at 10 to give them time to remember that I'm live. And then I'll send an email on Fridays, same time, 6:30 to say, hey, we're going to be co-working at 9 if you want to hop on. So typically I revolve my emails around my live stream schedule. So I'm not hitting live and just talking to myself. So if that is even remotely a part of your marketing strategy, email marketing is a fantastic partner with YouTube because YouTube notifications are not nearly as reliable as your email marketing software will be.
Amazing. All amazing tips. Before we head out, LaShonda, Dawn, Devin, any last minute advice or any last minute takeaways that you want to share?
I just hope you guys are inspired to catch your coins. Okay? Just catch them. They are there. People want to pay you. Make it easy. You can also what I love about Flodesk too is they have Flodesk checkout, so you can grow your list and sell to them in the same platform. That's a whole nother webinar. But literally, catch your coins. They are there. Just catch them. And Canva and Flodesk can help.
I'll speak from a I'll speak from a consumer perspective, as I am not personally a small business owner. I think that a theme that was coming through from everyone's answers today was to really try to understand your audience. You know them better than anyone else, and whether they want quick business tips, they want to understand what's going on in your life, you are the person that knows what they're looking to hear from you. And as someone married to a husband that gets mad at every single person that posts recipes, that gives them their whole weekend update before the recipe, I will say, as Dawn mentioned, getting the right message to the right person at the right time is so critical. And if people are coming to your email list from your very personable social media posts, maybe starting to show a more behind the scenes view is exactly what they're craving. So that was my little tip that I wanted to share. But Dawn, I'll pass it over to you. I'm sure that you have some insights too.
Yeah, my big one is just get started, right? Even if you're not ready to lean into that strategy, maybe this is not the right season, you have too much going on, get those forms up on your website, start collecting those email subscribers, and when it is time, you have a list that you can start emailing and nurturing when you're ready. So, no excuses, forms are free. Go start out your trial, get on those forms, get them on your website, and then they'll be there when you are ready to dive in.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. And for those of you that are in attendance, screenshot this. Um, use your camera to scan these wonderful QR codes. Take advantage of some of these offers. We'll also share them again in the after email. But just wanted to say a huge thanks to Don, Devin, and LaShonda for being here and sharing these amazing tips. If you are new to Flowdesk, hopefully this will be a way for you to dip your toes into the email marketing water so you could go ahead and test it out. And if you're new to Canva, really excited to have you here and test things out as well. There's a tons of resources and within Canva and within Flowdesk independently. There's so many amazing updates and so many new releases and features that there's always, an evolution. So I know from both sides of the community, they love getting feedback from their users so they could build products that work for the community, as do we. So make sure that if you have an idea, submit them via the different help forums, and there are people that take a look at those and they use them to craft up these amazing things for the future. But without further ado, thank you so, so much. We hope that you enjoyed this, and we hope to see you at the next one soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.